Welcome to the Amped Up Show with BC Amplified, featuring the Raw review for 9/29/25, which begins right now. This show opens up with the most boring intro to any pro wrestling show I've ever witnessed. The most boring intro to any show I've ever witnessed, whether a half an hour sitcom or an hour-long drama. If a show opened up with this much lack of energy, lack of passion, lack of a pulse, lack of life, it would be turned off instantly by everybody. And this is our professional wrestling in 2025. This is our Monday Night Raw. I had the fortune, or I guess you could say misfortune, given what we have today, but I caught this opening about 2.5 minute intro to a 1997 Monday Night Raw. Back then it was called Raw is War, and the era was known as the Attitude Era. And in this short 2.5 minutes, man, did it bring me right back. And I truly was reminded how spoiled we were as pro wrestling fans. The Raw is War intro theme, echoing to your core, that guitar riff, echoing throughout the arena. And when we came out of that opening guitar riff and that intro, and you go into the arena and all these fireworks are dropping down, truly pyro, to the point where you felt you were in a war zone, they added sound effects with the pyro. It sounded like bombs were dropping over there, grenades over here, and there was so much pyro, and it was loud, and it was heavy. It was rocking. Literally rocking fans back a step or two. Fans were getting knocked down back into their seats from the pyro. And when the pyro finally finished and the cameras start panning around the arenas, everybody was electric. Bouncing out of their seats is an understatement. By the time the intro was done, you were in somebody else's seat. You're like, what row is this? Where am I? I started in section 205. How the hell did I wind up in 301? Because you lost your damn dome pieces during every single Raw is War intro. To say it was a party or the place to be, that would be an understatement. Jim Ross would always be screaming, "It is rocking," in whatever city they're in. He'd say, "Get ready for a wild night, an unpredictable wild night of Raw." Yeah, because it was. You truly just didn't know what was going to happen, who was showing up. It was the best of times. And you watch this 2.5 minute clip, just the intro alone was worth the price of admission. The intro alone, 2.5 minutes, was better than 2.5 hours of today's Monday Night Raw. And I want you to understand those words, because that's not just some cute word salad for the upload, for the review in this opening monologue. I mean that. That 2.5 minutes was more engaging, more captivating, energetic with a pulse than anything that these 2.5 hours can produce today. And there's a good reason that I bring that up, because to start this review, you'd have to start at the top, and that is the intro. And as I said in this cold open teaser, in this opening monologue, this is the most boring intro that I've ever witnessed in pro wrestling. And it's been that way for many years. The most boring intro to any show I've ever witnessed. with Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett welcoming us to whatever city they're in a very matter-of-fact low tone. Welcome, everybody, to Cincinnati. Welcome, everybody, to San Francisco. Welcome, everybody, to Argentina. Welcome, everybody, to Brazil. It doesn't matter where they're. Welcome, everybody. They're telling you if you're waking up from your nap by accident to catch Raw, because that would be you wouldn't want to go out of your way, right? You want to stay in that nap. But if you're accidentally waking up for your nap in time to watch Raw, you can stay right there, cozy on the couch or in bed. You can continue on with your nap, everybody. We're going to speak like this, and we're just welcoming you to one of the most boring shows that you'll ever witness for the next 2.5 hours. Grab your Snuggies, grab your tea, and snuggle up on the couch. We'll put you to sleep. Put the NyQuil down. We got you covered. That's what happened last night. I urge any of you, if you ever have the time, check out an old intro from what is known as Raw is War. About 97, 98, around that time frame, I believe. And just listen and watch the intro, the guitar riffs, when it comes out of the intro in the opening pyro, which is legit a war zone. The crowd, really take it in. And then I want you to immediately, right after, catch an intro to today's Raw. And you see the night and day difference. And then you wonder why people bring up the Attitude Era. Or even ruthless aggression. Nobody's asking for everything to come back. What we're asking for is just the care, the level of care, the pulse to the show, the energy. We're asking for energy. Passion. Fun. It used to be fun. It used to be fun. Monday Night Raw was appointment television, man. It would beat Monday Night Football. Today, you know what fans say? The ones that coddle the balls of Hunter Hearst Helmsley? Well, you can't compete with football, man, so why would they try? Of course they're going to go on at 7, Basley. Of course, Basley, they're going to have a bad rating. It's football, Basley! Football just started. They've been going down in the rate. They started at 6-0 on Netflix. They're down to a 2-3. 2-4. No football! Now they're scrambling, changing up their start times because now they don't want to go head to head with football because they know their numbers are so freaking low because the show sucks. That's why people don't watch anymore. And you're blaming football? Raw is War used to smack the out of football because it was appointment television. I love my Green Bay Packers. Even if it was a Packer game, I had to watch Raw and Nitro. I had to hear the glass shatter when Stone Cold's coming out or when McMahon is out there. If it's The Rock, if it's Y2J, if Kurt Angle's, that's where I had to watch. And that last button channel, that last channel button, that was for WCW. You had to catch the NWO. You had to see what was going on over there with Sting, who was showing up. It was fun. When people mention the Attitude Era or quote, back in the day, we're asking for the energy. We're asking for the passion back, the care. That's all we're asking for. Then we can get to the larger-than-life characters and the storylines that had us captivated on the edge of our seats. Then we can take it to that level, but let's take baby steps. If you just watch and listen to the intros. Guys, I'm just talking about the intro! The intros. Where is that care? Where's that passion? Where's the love for this? There's no more love for this. Hunter Hearst Helmsley is just suit and tie, business per usual Hunter Hearst Helmsley now. Cash in on all the checks. And then when the ratings are so damn low, and the viewership is so damn low, and the attendance starts to drop so damn low, sell it to Saudi. Cash out. and ride off into the sunset with boats full of cash. TKO came in and they told you straight up, this is just business now. We don't care what you want. We don't care how you like your pro wrestling. We don't care about the energy, the passion. This is strictly business. We're getting every penny from you. And when we take every penny and we run that well dry, we're going to sell, turn our backs on you, and ride off. They're telling you that. Mark Shapiro, the COO, said Vince McMahon used to price for families so that you could actually afford these shows. He said Vince was not maximizing the potential and the opportunity. We are. What Mark Shapiro just told you is that Vince made sure that you guys could go to the show. You guys were a part of the show. What they're doing is they're pricing people out. They're pricing families. They're pricing demographics out. They're pricing out. They're getting the richest people in because they know they'll spend even more. And they're going to run that well dry and sell when it is dry. That's why you don't see any passion in the product anymore. That's why nobody cares. I say it all the time. Helmsley, right? Let's just ask, who is the chief of the creative and the content? Who's running this? Why are we not getting good stories or larger than life characters? Why? You start at the top. Helmsley has the roles. But why do you see Helmsley involved in all the business, day-to-day business? What's he doing up there with Saudi Arabia at the press conference? What is he doing? Let Mark Shapiro and Nick Khan and Silver Lake take care of it. Don't you have something to do? How are you filming all these commercials and doing the voiceovers and doing the podcasts and the talk shows? How are you doing all of this? Why are you the face of the company when the product sucks? We're telling you the product sucks. It's because Helmsley's not spending a damn moment on creative or content or, quote, head of talent relation. He's not doing any of it. And you see it. You feel it more than anything. You feel it from this product. It is lifeless. It is soulless. I am livid that this is what we get every Monday. That this is what we get every Friday. And if you want to know how bad it got, at WrestlePalooza, a palooza of wrestling, right? ESPN asked them to do one thing. Can you give us a Mania-esque type of a show? And they produced another business per usual status quo show. Lacking of everything. Lacking of energy. Lacking of passion. Lacking of a pulse. To the point where the streaming service themselves that they were airing it on, ESPN, panned it. Ripped it apart. One of their journalists gave it a C rating, as average as you can get. Their own streaming services, Netflix. I told you this was going to happen. You guys hear the reports? Netflix is pissed at WWE. And we're hearing that was a big reason why they're trying to shift times around. They're not happy with the numbers and how low they have gone. Some people think Roman came back early because Netflix told WWE finally, this is unacceptable. I told you guys, there's an opt-out. It's a 10-year deal, but there's an opt-out after 5. I said Netflix is not going 3 years. Netflix is savage. They're savage. They're bulldogs. There's no way they're going more than 3 years with this type of content. They're going to find a loophole. Netflix has been known to give Das Boot to shows that are good. They bring in good numbers. Successful shows in Netflix, if they were not happy, they booted a lot of them. I wouldn't doubt they're trying to get out of this deal right now with WWE Raw. So if you're wondering how bad it's gotten, Netflix pissed off. ESPN is panning their own product now. WWE is now on ESPN, and ESPN said, wow, that sucked. Fox that used to hold SmackDown. What did Fox say? Never again. We never once saw a return on our investment the whole time SmackDown was on Fox. It was a failed business venture. What'd I tell you guys, man? I don't bullshit my audience. I always told you guys, if WWE is going to conduct business like this, they're going to burn bridges. You're going to get every penny now. Oh yeah, you're going to record some record revenue. It's going to sound all good, right? Business is booming. In the process, you're going to burn bridges. They've already burned Fox. They're a stone's throw away from burning the NBC Universal deal. NBC went from Raw. They didn't want that anymore because the numbers went so low. They thought, okay, maybe we can salvage SmackDown. SmackDown has gone to all new lows. All-time lows in viewership. I think once that SmackDown candle burns out, NBC Universal's done. Netflix, as I said, pissed. They'll join Fox and NBC Universal. And then ESPN. Oh, you keep producing shows like this from ESPN and people, fans, critics, journalists, everybody, the community pans it. Good luck with ESPN even 1 year from now. But I truly believe that even when they burn every bridge, they're going to be okay with it because I do believe the plan is to sell it to Saudi anyway. So get every damn dime now. Sell. That's the game plan. Look at every move. I've never been wrong about this, guys. I told you guys when Vince was getting ready to sell, I was the first one in the community to tell you guys, and people are like, nah, or it won't be here, BC, or it won't be for this much, BC. No, I told you. Every move that was being made. They weren't even trying to hide it. Vince was not trying to hide that he was selling. So many just didn't want to believe it. TKO, Silver Lake, Shapiro, Khan, HHA, they're not trying to hide it. And in the process, we get this type of show every single Monday night and Friday night and PLEs. And the only difference is you're paying more money now, more to watch the PLEs. You'll have to pay for more subscription services, more commercials because everybody's greedy. So now when we're watching this, we get more commercials. So even ESPN, you're paying triple the amount, but now you have even more commercials on a pay-per-view. It's not a PLE anymore. With the $30 price tag, it's a pay-per-view. With commercials. Never thought I'd see the day, but it's the day of greed. More commercials, advertisements like you've never seen. Slim Jim slap dab in the middle of the ring or on all the tables. Cash App, every drink you could imagine, from Hogan's beer to Logan Paul's Prime Energy, Snickers bars, 100 Grands, M&M's, Three Musketeers, whatchamacallits, Mars, Milky Ways, Skittles. Brock Lesnar will bring back Jimmy John's. Subway, McDonald's, the wrestlers will soon have patches all over their gear. NASCAR will have nothing on pro wrestling, advertisement-wise. Why? Because the greed has gotten this bad. But let's circle it back, right? BC's going in left field with a hockey stick with one of his famous rants. But I want to stick to the topic here, the intro to this show. And Tessa Torre and Wade Barrett just welcome us in a very low, matter-of-fact tone because they know everyone's just kind of still, not just waking up from their nap, but still kind of in their nap. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Yahoo Bonkers, Minnesota, or wherever they are. North Dakota, South Carolina, wherever they are. And then all the wrestlers are showing up with their coffees or their title belt or their luggage. Wrestlers, they're showing up to work. What a concept. That's always a plus. Hey, look, there's Finn. Oh, look, Rusev is showing up. Oh, look, it's Asuka. Same type of intro every single week. No pulse, no nothing. Everyone's relaxed. They have their coffees, their luggage. And then we pan finally to Wade Barrett and Tessa Torre, and they just say, hey, we got a good show for you tonight. The Brawns are going to take on the Usos. That's what you're going to wait 2.5 hours for. A rematch from a show that has been panned by the streaming service themselves, ESPN. This is a rematch from the Palooza of wrestling. And it was a clunky match, the Bron Brons and the Usos. So let's do it again. Let's wait 2.5 hours to watch the same damn match we just saw last week. Yeah. That'll conclude my opening monologue, a lengthy opening monologue, but one that absolutely needed to be discussed. Because just rewatching that Raw is War intro from 1997 and listening to Ross really sell it, and he didn't even need to try hard, man. The energy, the electricity in that arena, every arena, was just to a whole nother scale, a whole nother magnitude. And the guitar riffs and the pyro and the energy from that crowd, and then you listen and you see what we got last night to start the show, and the crowd, when they come out of that stupid theme song, if they even played it last night, it's that forgettable. But when they finally pan to the crowd, and half the crowd doesn't even know that they're live, some of them have signs, there's no energy. Night and day difference. So the next time you hear somebody bring up the Attitude Era, or man, it was so much better back in the day, back in my day, just remember one thing. What they mean from the jump is just the energy, the passion, the care, the pulse, the life that was in those arenas and in the shows, and the writers, and everybody was having fun. Everybody was having fun. And you truly never knew what was going to happen. Nowadays, the product is so stale. You know what's going to happen 10 minutes before it does. A match can just begin and you know how it's all unfolding. And when it's all said and done, you care about none of it. None of it makes sense. None of it was worth the time. It's all filler. So BC, was this show the same way? Was it mostly or all filler? Let's talk about it. What do you say? That was all. That was all just the intro. My opening monologue, I knew too, when I saw that clip recently from the Attitude Era Raw is War, I knew I was going to have to talk about that again because it's been a while. And then when I saw that intro last night and I heard it, and the lack of everything from it, I said, yup. Oh, we're going to talk about it on the next Amped Up show. And it just happens to be the Raw review. Let BC get a swig of his Dunkin' Extra coffee, and then we'll get into the first actual segment. This was Rhea Ripley and Iyo Sky, middle of the ring for a promo. That's going to be a blast. Rhea Ripley and her little accent. You got Iyo screaming her Japanese. And that wasn't it. Oh no, Asuka and Cody were going to join the party. That's a good coffee. Rhea Ripley, as I aforementioned, and Iyo Sky, middle of the ring. Rhea calls out Asuka. Asuka and Kari speak Japanese for 3 minutes on the Tron. That's what happened. We had the little subtitles, the captions, we had all of that. And Iyo then has a panic attack in the middle of the ring, or some moral conflict within, as she just starts to cry, and then she just leaves the ring. I love Iyo. I do. One of the best actual pound-for-pound female wrestlers on the planet. Still to this day. I said it years ago. I say it still today. The over-the-top dramatics are middle of the ring. It's a bit much because you just ask, well, what are you crying about, dude? Like, you're an adult. Just relax for a second and think about the situation. These are your friends, and this is your buddy, and your friends don't like one another. You handle the situation, but you don't just break down and start crying. And she leaves the ring. I mean, it's like a panic attack. She's crying, she's shaking, she leaves the ring. And I'm like, whoa, is there something else going on with Iyo? I mean, because realistically, this is not how you would act, I would think. But maybe Iyo is just super emotional. So she goes into the aisleway, and this allows Asuka and Cody to attack Ripley from behind. So the Tron and them speaking for 3 minutes in Japanese was kind of like a good setup. Iyo leaving was just even better for Asuka and Cody. Made it more easy for them to get in that ring and put the boots to Rhea. Iyo starts to cry again, this time in the aisleway. So she is a emotional mess. She then runs back to the ring to help her new biff, Rhea. She catches the blue mist from Asuka. Rhea then gets caught in the Asuka lock and is simultaneously hit with Cody's insane elbow, which is still to this day a thing of beauty. This would have been a good little middle segment to the show, and the fact that we started off with it kind of speaks volumes. Because, like you guys know, the end of the show, you preserve for one of your hottest storyline. Well, the start of the show should be the same thing. Either it's the same storyline that you're going to end it with, which is totally cool, or another massive story. The fact that we started off with this is WWE telling you, this is our only real story, like a story with substance. Not just these individuals wrestle all the time, or they fight all the time, or they have some history. Right? That's what we've been relegated to. That's how low the bar is these days. That a storyline in WWE means that wrestler A and wrestler B have some history together. Or they fight a lot, or they say words to each other a lot. That's what a story has become in WWE. So with this, it is, I will give them this, it's a story. It's a bottom of the barrel, pretty simplistic story, but sometimes that's all you need. But the fact that we started off with it tells you everything you need to know. Because I assure you, there was nothing else going forward that even has any semblance of a story attached to it. But I won't just say that, right? We'll go over it right now. This is amped up. With BC, you got the unit listening in. It's featuring the Raw review, man. We rocking. No time to waste. Let's jump into it. First matchup of the night. IC title match. Oh, this one legit made my eye twitch. Rusev and the dirtiest of all the Dominics. Heel versus heel for the title. Digest that first before I even get into this and rip it apart. I want you to truly comprehend and try to digest what I am telling you. Hunter Hearst Helmsley booked yet again. This is about 1,000 times that he has booked faces versus faces and heels versus heels in the 3 years he's been in charge. Heel versus heel. And the finish to this match, again, made my eye twitch. It was that bad. The dirtiest of the Dominics hits Rusev with a low blow kick behind the ref's back, and then subsequently rolls up Rusev for the 1-2-3 pinfall. Dirtiest keeps his title. I have no problem with Dominic keeping his title. I don't care about the title. That title is so irrelevant right now, I have to remind myself who even has it. I don't care about that. I care about character progression. I care about where are these talents going trajectory-wise. Just start off with the dirtiest of all the Dominics, right? He is a natural heel. Some individuals, some talent are naturally just a face, or some are just naturally a heel. Dominic Mysterio and his mannerisms, his cadences, his scrawny asshole vibes. It screams heel. So why give the crowd any more of a reason to cheer for his scrawny ass? And on the flip side, Rusev, who is supposed to be a ruthless badass, was completely out-heeled. He was out-heeled! He was defeated, pinned by a heel tactic, and then rolled up after said heel tactic. What are they doing? What could they possibly be thinking? Rusev got out-heeled. Rusev got a low-blow heel tactic to finish him off. Why would you book him like that? Why would you book either of them like that? Levesque Helmsley is officially the worst booker of all time. That's it. I'm done. It's not even debatable anymore. I don't want to hear Hulk Hogan was bad, Beasley, when he had the creative book in WCW and in TNA. Hulk Hogan was bad, Beasley. I understand. Kevin Nash was bad, Beasley. I hear ya. Tony Khan, man, he's right there with Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Tony Khan's bad, BC. Hey, I hear ya. He's got to be a lot better. Some of it downright bad. That's fine. Last night, that's it. That's it. The decision has been made. Levesque Helmsley is officially the worst booker of all time. Because you'd have to be a legit stupid person to book this. You'd have to be. I don't know how many more of these type of decisions you need to see before it finally hits you like a brick. Hey, this really sucks. It's really bad. Like, Paul Levesque McMahon is really bad at this. How many more times do you need to see? Austin Theory cashes in his Money in the Bank in the middle of a Monday Night Raw on a mid-card title that he already held, the U.S. title. He already held it in the past. And by the way, he failed. He failed. That's how Hunter Hearst Helmsley booked him. Cash in on the mid-card title and don't even win it. And then you won't be seen again. We'll hang you with Grayson Waller for a year or two, and then just go away. Could you imagine that? And then a few months later, have Austin Theory claim that he is going into the Royal Rumble so that he can earn a shot at the World Championship. But when he was asked why he cashed in on the mid-card title, Austin Theory said, let's be honest, I was never going to beat Roman. I was never going to actually win the world title, so I wanted to go for the mid-card. He literally gave that excuse. So then a few months later, he's talking about the Royal Rumble. Well, wait a second. You already had the opportunity. Now you want to go through 29 individuals to get the same opportunity you already had when you said you wouldn't win it anyway. Same guy was champion at the time, by the way. So what? Nobody thinks about this. Gunther is supposed to be a diabolical heel. Talks all this trash about Randy Orton and his fam. And then after their match, they just shake hands. Helmsley's like, yeah, and after the match, shake hands. Nobody thought, wait a second, Gunther is supposed to be like like a heel. I'm better than you. I would never shake your hand. Well, BC, that was just a one-off, man. It was just a one-off. They really wanted to sell the fact that, wow, what a hard-earned victory. And so Gunther did something he never does. He shook Randy's hand. What? Then how do you explain Cody Rhodes? He did the same thing. Yeah, forgot about that, right? Helmsley had Cody and Gunther face each other and after the match, shake hands. Well, BC, okay, twice, a couple times, BC. It's a new part of his character, BC. He's a very good sportsman. Okay, so you just killed everything special about Gunther. And to put the final nail in the coffin, how about we have Gunther tap out to his own submission to Jason Uso in 8 seconds at Mania to drop the title. That's how we'll book Gunther. I'm just giving you some. We'd be here for days, weeks, and months giving you every bad decision that Helmsley has given us because that's most of them. But they don't have to be grand like all of those. They could be much smaller. Like this. And booking Rusev and Mysterio like this. You'd have to be a stupid person. Insert Paul Levesque McMahon. Raquel Rodriguez defeats Bayley via Tahana Bomb, pinfall. Big W for Raquel, I guess you could say, right? Bayley looking up at the light. She was folded up like an accordion. Welcome back, New Bayley. She already collecting L's, bro. I remember when this character started a couple weeks ago, everyone's like, wow, this is going to be amazing. This Bayley is going to be one of the best characters of all time. BC told you in that review a couple weeks ago, I said, I'm already annoyed with this character. I don't know what it is. Bayley doesn't know what it is. She's not playing it off right. To play off this type of character, it has to just be so believable, so realistic. Not everybody can play these type of characters off. Not everybody can be the Mickie James or even Alexa Bliss and her work with the Wyatts. It may seem easy because you see it a lot. It's not. And Bayley just doesn't have this in her. It's so unorganic. It's just not natural. It's not believable. Her laugh is just so bad when she tries to switch between serious and then comedy or just having a good time. It's just so forced. So this Bayley is just annoying. So now it's just really badly booked and annoying. And she's looking up at the lights already. Post-match, Roxy and Raquel put the boots to Bayley. Out comes Lyra Valkyria in a mini skirt, mind you. Lyra out there looking so damn tasty, man. She's got possibly the best legs of all the females in WWE, possibly. I mean, she is just, yeah, she's sizzling. And ass, everything is, and she works out. She had Sheamus huffing and puffing on the floor during their workouts. I don't know if you guys ever caught Sheamus and his workout series that he does with a lot of the talent, but Lyra, I've seen to notice the female workouts absolutely floor Sheamus. It's hilarious. But Lyra is just a beast. And man, she just, yeah, everything is chef's kiss. BC was bought it. But anyway, she comes down in her mini skirt. Bayley continues to go through mood swings or whatever womanly issue she's going through. So Lyra goes down, fends off the heels, and all of a sudden, Bayley is doing her multiple personalities. She's pushing Lyra. Hey, where were you? Slapping her in the face. Yeah, let's go. Yeah. And Lyra's like looking at her like she just, saw a ghost, or maybe a 12th grande Americano latte. She's just like stunned, like, what's going on with Bayley? And it's funny because Bayley doesn't know what she's doing. Bayley's just grasping. The whole thing is weird. Weird. I look into the audience and they're trying to have fun with it because it's supposed to be funny. But it's just like such an awkward look on so many of the fans' faces because there's like a half smile. Like, I think this is funny, right? But you could tell they're confused. This Bayley thing is so stupid. I want to say they tried, right? I mean, like, the whole Bayley thing needed something new, needed something, just a pulse to it. And this is what they came up with, just a multiple personality Bayley. It doesn't work. And if Helmsley's going to book her like this, then it's just not going to work. And I told you guys that too, man, that first time around. I said I was a little on the fence with it. I don't like it personally, but I'm going to see where it goes, right? I'm willing to see where it ends up. But I said with Hunter Hearst Helmsley, don't hold your breath because what are you expecting? If we're already iffy with this character and she gets bad booking on top of it, this could fall faster than SmackDown Raw rating numbers. Backstage, Kairi Sane is crying in front of Iyo Sky, who is also, you guessed it, still crying. Kairi wants Iyo to apologize to Asuka. It's not too late. You can come back with us. Iyo tells Kairi to leave her alone. Iyo looked like an Avatar character. You guys ever see the movie Avatar? What do they call him? Navari or something? Navare? Something like that. Navi. Maybe that's what it is. But it's all the blue people in Avatar. At first I was thinking Smurf, but that's more like cartoonish. But I was trying to think, what does she look like? And I'm coming up with Smurf. I came up with Aladdin. Remember when Will Smith played Aladdin? But the genie in Aladdin. But no, I'm like, more realistically, she would easily fit in Avatar Land. Because they just kept her blue the whole damn show. Nobody told her, Iyo, you can hit the showers at any time. Like, you don't have a segment anymore. You don't have to sit backstage and cry for 2.5 hours. But that's what they had Kyrie doing. They kept going back to Kyrie crying for 2 hours. Refusing to hit the showers. And she was just blue. If I was green, I would die. She's blue. Now this, I don't understand. I don't understand the whole show, but check this out. LA Knight pins Kofi Kingston next with a BFT pinfall. What are we doing? Better question, what are they doing with LA Knight? So let me get this straight. They turned the New Day into actual jobbers. We can all agree on that, as sad as that is to say. The New Day is now actual jobbers. Right? That's what they turned them into. And then they had LA Knight pin one of them. And post-match, Wade Barrett says, and I quote, a massive win for Knight tonight. And I quote, now that is momentum. Were we watching the same thing, Wade? Where was the big win? Because I just saw LA Knight in a random match pick up a random W over Kofi Kingston. And what momentum, Wade? You say now that is momentum. Momentum? What are you talking about? Every time Helmsley puts him in a big match, it's just to either take the L or to make everybody else look good. He doesn't walk away with a W. He doesn't walk away with any straps. Momentum? No, Wade, there's no momentum. Helmsley is making sure he puts a stop to the dude that got over organically. Insert LA Knight. Because Helmsley can't stand that. So make no mistake, a weird filler match like this was absolutely on purpose. This was exactly what Hunter Hearst Helmsley wanted. Put LA Knight out there. He'll get a W so fans won't hoot and holler, right? Hey, LA Knight was out there. He had a match with Kofi and he won. He won. Wow. He's being booked correctly. And it's all smoke and mirrors. This is Helmsley's way to further swipe LA Knight under the rug. That W, the only thing it actually did is cement the fact even more that LA Knight isn't winning any world title in the near future. Or future period with Helmsley in charge. Not going to happen. It is sad how LA Knight has been booked. It is damn near tragic. The best part of the show, no surprise, involved Becky Lynch. Yeah, you know, months ago, I just remember the community just absolutely destroying everything Becky was in. Promos suck. Nothing she does is interesting. She's boring, this and that. And I'm like, are we watching the same thing? Because the show is horrible in totality. And Becky Lynch is the only part where, like, I care even remotely. The work she did with AJ Lee and CM Punk, damn top notch. And her with Seth Rollins, man, it's one of the only things I actually am interested in. I just think those two are just so badass together. And yet again, on another show that completely sucks from top to bottom, the best part of this show is a quick backstage segment with Becky Lynch. She beats up Tozawa and Maxine backstage. Drops Tozawa. Maxine's looking over Tozawa, and all of a sudden Becky comes back and takes out Maxine. And then she walks up to Rollins. And Seth is still staring at that watch that Cody gave him back at, what was it, 41, 41 of the WrestleManias that Cody gave him. And Sethington asked Becky, "You feel better now?" And Becky's like, yeah, actually I do. And Seth was not asking sarcastically, but rather sincerely. Because he's looking at his watch anyway, and he just looks over at Becky like nothing. Like it's business as usual. He just watched his wife beat up two individuals, one dude and one chick. He's just like, feel better now? And she's like, yeah. He's like, all right, I gotta go take care of something. And these two are best for business. And it's the little things, right? They've been dressing in all black lately. Just them two together like that. You don't need division. You don't need Paul Heyman with Seth Rollins at all. He doesn't need to be overseeing the Brawns. Who would have thought? The answer was right next to him the whole time. Becky Lynch. Becky and Seth. That is the ultimate dynamic, dastardly duo. Them two together can be wildly captivating. I have all these creative aspects and avenues I could go down with those two characters. If Helmsley just remotely taps into some of that. Insanely epic television. Them two together are so good and they're believable and they could do some great heel work that can elevate not just themselves but others, the product, the company, the show, the fans. I'm passionate about that because that's something that absolutely has legs to stand on. This is something that could absolutely not just work, but they could thrive with this going forward. Every time they're together. It's lightning and it's magic for Seth Rollins. For the past several months, he's out there with the vision, and we all know, oh no, this didn't work. Like they took a huge gamble. Some thought actually went into building this, and it didn't work. It just doesn't feel right. Doesn't look right, doesn't feel right. And usually when that happens, that's it. You don't really get a second chance after that, or not for a while. Remember Ali and Retribution? This was Ali's chance. A lot went into that. Do or die. This has to work. Sink or swim. Retribution has to work, or Ali could be out of a job. Unfortunately, Retribution didn't work. Didn't feel right. Didn't look right. Got panned. Ali, not long after, was out of WWE. I'm not saying Seth Rollins would be out of WWE, but Rollins was already at that time kind of searching for something more than just a catchy theme song that fans could sing to. So they went all in with the vision. It failed. But something happened that doesn't usually happen. Ali would have loved if it happened to him. Seth had something else to kind of fall back on. It was just because they had to put Becky in there with him to take on AJ and CM Punk. Lo and behold, it actually worked. Lightning in a bottle. This works. Looks right, looks good, feels right, feels good. They're good together. Probably obvious, right? I mean, they are together outside of the ring. So I guess we shouldn't be shocked, but it's still really awesome, and I really hope they keep going with it, man. Becky and Seth Rollins. That's the duo. Rollins is then out to the ring. If you needed any more proof that nobody cares about this stupid crown jewel rematch between Seth and Cody, the crowd starts chanting CM Punk and then OTC. So Rollins I felt bad for him. Rollins had to somehow wrap it back to Cody Rhodes because that's what the promo is supposed to be on, and Cody's about to come out. So Seth tries his best. Cody eventually comes out and they have an exchange. Man, they tried. They really did try, guys. They were grasping at anything and everything to make people care. And I quote, they need to find out who's the better man. And I quote, whoever wins at Crown Jewel could decide the next 10 to 20 years of the industry. That one I had a laugh at. And even Cody Rhodes had a laugh at that because Seth said that. And Cody said, Cody goes, what are we doing, Seth? He goes, isn't that a bit too much? Aren't we going a bit too far with that? That whoever wins decides the next 20 years of the industry? It's just a match for a ring, bro. And a giant goofy-ass title. That nobody is going to carry anyway, because you probably can't get it through the airports. And then at the end of this, Seth just walks off, and Cody is in the ring, kind of just like staring at him. And we go to like a video package or something. AJ Styles and CM Punk, something, I don't know. AJ Styles and John Cena, I think that was a video package. I didn't put that in the notes because it just wasn't worthy of putting in the notes. But my point is that that's how it ended, guys. That legit. Seth just walks off and the crowd is like, what did we really just spend 10 minutes on? I don't even know. I mean, at least they got to sing Seth's song for a little bit. And for, some of them got to go, Cody, Cody Rhodes, Cody, Cody Rhodes. Right? They got to do that, I guess. And Seth is really trying to sell even backstage, he's telling the Vision, I have to beat Cody. I have to beat him. And Paul Heyman's like, of course you're going to beat him. You're the visionary. You're the missionary. You're the architect. You're the what the heck. You're going to win. And Seth stops him and he's like, no, I don't think you understand. I have to win. So he's trying. This means a lot to Seth, is what we're being told. That's cool. For Cody, he's kind of still smirking and you can tell it doesn't mean a lot to Cody. It doesn't. So that's what the story is, I guess. Wow, it all rides on this, Seth. And of course, Seth, I do see winning. You could make it. The only fun way you could go is if he actually loses and he's 0-4. That's more fun than anything. Because if he just wins, then oh boy, we're going to get a couple more matches. He'll tie it up and we'll do a best of 7 down the road. Wow! Yeah, for the next couple years, we'll find out who the best is between Seth and Cody. Please no. Now, the saddest part of the night came up next. This was AJ Styles and How to Train Your Dragon Ball Z Lee on the microphone. And yeah, just think of that, please. AJ Styles has never been really a good promo. He's on the stick, and then Dragon Ball Z Lee. They literally had How to Train Your Dragon on the live mic, and that's just not a good idea. So I guess it shouldn't be a shock, but it was still so sad, damn near tragic to hear the silence when they were done, because AJ Styles finished off the promo. I think he mentioned something about the Cena match. And guys, it was complete silence from the crowd. And no, really. I'm not just saying that, and like, you could clearly hear some fans making noise, and you could see some fans like clapping or cheering or something, right? So BC, it wasn't complete silence. No, I mean complete silence. You guys can check it out yourself. I'm giving you the part of the show. It's AJ Styles, How to Train Your Dragon Ball Z Lee on the microphone before their matchup with the Grande Frappuccinos. So that's the part. You go back to that promo. Listen when AJ Styles is done. Listen closely. Look at the crowd. Look at him. Listen. Silence. You could have heard a pin drop in that arena. And that's sad. And you're thinking, well, damn, man, that sucks. AJ Styles has a big match with Cena at Crown Jewel. That's what happens when you book random filler, because that's what this is. Styles and John Cena for no reason. They wrestled each other several times, several years ago. Cena's already coming off a weird thing with Brock that has no explanation. We don't know why they were even doing anything together. And then they just plucked him into AJ Styles, which is just as random, if not even more. And this is what happens when you book Styles like a bum, basically. Irrelevant for years. And then all of a sudden you put him with John Cena, and we're all supposed to just like a light switch, snap your finger, blink of an eye, wave your magic wand, your Harry Potter wand, and we're all supposed to magically just be invested and feel a certain way. Oh, it's AJ Styles! It's going to be amazing! It's going to be a banger! Meltzy's going to give it 19 stars! No, people can't. It's not a light switch how you feel about our professional wrestling. You book AJ Styles like this, and then you just say, hey, he's taking on Cena. AJ is once again one of the top stars on our shows. No, he's not. Dude, you have him cook this, and then you have him taking on some grande cappuccinos. Couple of 2-tree macchiatos. What are you doing with AJ Styles? You wonder why it was silent? Because nobody cared. And most of us love AJ Styles' work, and we know how good he is, and we want the best for him. This ain't it. When you say John Cena's got 2 matches left, and he's wasting it on something stupid with Brock Lesnar and some random filler with AJ Styles, yeah, fans are not going to be happy. Sorry, not sorry. Forgive them not if they can't manufacture a feeling for this stupid match. Complete silence after this Styles and Dragon Ball Z Lee promo. Styles and Dragon then defeat the Frappuccino, Cappuccino, Macchiato, American Tall, Grande, Venti, Coffee Brothers. And we go into our main event. Usos versus Braun Brawns, a rematch from the Palooza of Wrestling that even ESPN panned and said was average AF. Who wins? I don't know. Maybe the Usos won, if anybody. I believe. I don't believe the Braun Brawns won because Roman Reigns returned. That's right. I'll put returned in quotes, air quotes. For the 948th time, Roman Reigns returned. He's got a steel chair. He takes out the Braun Brawns with said steel chair. And the show ends with Jey Uso repeatedly telling Roman, "Yeah, Us. Let's go, Us. Yeah, Us. Let's go and do this, Us. Yeah, Us." 26 times. As we fade to black with Paul Levesque McMahon telling you that he produced this garbage. The pop for Roman was the biggest pop of the night, so do the Steiner math. That's not good. The guy that shows up once every couple of months gets the biggest pop. Everybody else that's there every week should be working on some really good storylines and really getting the crowd into it. I mean, you should be building your equity. Storyline equity, individual character work equity. Nope. You hear Roman's music and that's still the loudest pop. The downside, too, is that Roman doesn't even feel like he used to. I mean, Roman is just coming back. The last several times he's returned with some stupid Uso stuff in the Braun Brawns. He needs a steel chair. I would have rather saw him come down and do some Superman punches and spears like we've already seen in the past. I didn't need the steel chair. Makes him look weak. I don't care if it's 2-on-1. It's Roman. Comes down already with a steel chair. All these returns to nothing. I understand making him feel special. So what they're doing is they're keeping him away anyway because it creates a demand, right? When you don't have something frequently, it creates a demand. Every business knows that. It's why you don't see the McRib always at McDonald's. So when they promote it, oh, the McRib is back. It's always a big deal, right? At Starbucks, the pistachio latte is always a big deal. When they bring back pistachio, it's only for about 3 months. It's pistachio season. You got to go get it. It creates a demand. It's not that there's a lack of pistachios or they cost any more than an almond or a coconut. But they choose pistachio to be that demand product. Drive everybody and really create a big quarterly earnings report. Every business does it. Roman, create the demand. You don't see Roman often, so you actually want to see Roman. Vince used to do this all the time with Hulk Hogan. So I get that, but when you bring him back to absolutely nothing, nonstop, eventually that's going to wear itself thin. And I said this last month, and I'll say it again now, man. He's coming back, and it's good to see. It's like, damn, finally a little bit of a pulse to the show. But then you see what he's involved in, and you see how it's ending, and you're like, well, who cares? Jey Uso is telling Roman, it's on, Us. Let's do it, Us. Yeah, Us. I can't manufacture a feeling and tell you guys, or an emotion and tell you guys I'm interested in this. I don't care. If you do, that's your prerogative. Good for you. Hey, there's something on the show to look forward to. For me, what is Roman doing? What is Jey Uso? Is Jey Uso going to turn heel in the future? Ooh. Jey Uso should be in a tag team with Jim Uso. Try to establish a tag team division finally. Like a real tag team division. Because you have tag teams, you just lack the division because nobody cares to create it. Is Jey Uso going to take over the Roman Empire? Create the bloodline and go against Roman? That's what I wanted. Roman versus Jason Yeerman. Tag team Uso. What are we doing with Roman? All the epicness that he's been involved in over the years, whether we liked it or not, or thought it was a good position, or thought the story sucked or were good, it doesn't matter. He was involved in some high-profile matchups. At one point about to take on his cousin The Rock, but the fans ruined that. A couple of big Mania matches with Cody. All those matches with Brock Lesnar. And you can go down the line. But damn, what are we doing with the Braun Brawns and the Usos? I could go on and on. It's just, you got to be careful, man. Roman has been coming back to absolute nothingness for months now. I understand keeping him away from the title and making him feel special and doing other things. I always say, if you're damn good at what you're doing and you're doing things correctly, you don't need a title. But you gotta put him in something more relevant than this. Anyway, that's what I got for you guys, man, on this amped up show for the 30th of September, featuring the 29th of September's Monday Night Raw. This has been your amplified review. Up next is Crown Jewel. As we said, a bunch of random matches. I'm trying to find anything that I can get semi-excited about for this event, but there's nothing there. Tiffany and Stephanie will be a good match, I feel, but I'm going to need much more than just Stephanie and Tiffany being a good match. This is just such a weird, they follow up the Palooza of Wrestling where even ESPN panned it. Even ESPN ripped it apart. And they're following it up with literally a PLE that is, it's just random matches. It's like, what? They really got to pull their own heads out of their own asses. This is unacceptable. By the way, John Cena's last match, WWE has confirmed it. We knew this for a while, but this is the actual confirmation. His last match will be December 13th, Washington, D.C. on a Saturday night's main event. So, December 13th, and I believe that's Peacock exclusive. I'm not sure if that's going to be on NBC. I know next year, the whole year, they're going to have about 4 exclusive Saturday night's main events, so you have to pay for Peacock. So that's another subscription service you're going to have to get, and possibly even for Cena's last match. But that's Saturday night's main event, December 13th. So that's what I mean, man. You know he's only got a couple matches left, and this is what you're wasting it on. I don't know who his last opponent will be, but at this point, a lot of you guys are having some fun with it. Or fun probably wouldn't be the word, but you guys are, you're kind of going out on a limb and going, well, if he's just taking on people he used to face in the past, it could be somebody like Seth Rollins. What if they tried to do Roman Reigns and Cena one more time? I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that more than AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar, I'll tell you that much. Roman and Cena, I would do over Cena and Brock and Cena and AJ Styles, easily. But this whole run for John Cena has just been awful. And it's all Hunter Hearst Helmsley. This is how he booked him. Straight down to the heel turn, having nothing planned after the heel turn, the random matches with no explanation. It has been a weird run for John Cena, and it sucks that it's his last one. You know, you never want to go out like that, striking out like that. But so far, I mean, John Cena is striking out. And I can't say it's lack of effort on his half. All right, until next time. And there will be that next time. Plenty more amped up shows coming at you this week. But for now, BC in the unit, we're saying check you. Salute!